I remember sitting at my desk, the faint scent of burnt coffee hanging in the air, absent-mindedly scrolling through my family's group chat, the one I was never meant to see. My mother had accidentally added me while sending the final confirmations for the family's Christmas trip to Hawaii. For a moment, I stared at the message as if it were written in another language. Flights booked. Hotel rooms arranged. My sister's name listed first. Mine missing entirely. It wasn't a mistake. It was deliberate. And that decision came from her, Emily, my sister. The same woman who once cried on my couch when her marriage was falling apart. The same couch she and her husband had been using rent-free in my home ever since. 2 years earlier, when Emily's husband lost his job, they'd come to me, smiling nervously, apologetic. Just for a few months, she'd promised, gripping my hand. I didn't even hesitate. Family helps family. I turned my guest suite into their private space, covered their utilities, bought groceries, even worked extra hours to make ends meet. I listened to Emily's endless complaints about life and stress, thinking I was holding our family together. I truly believed I was doing something good. Funny how love can disguise itself as delusion when you're too tired to see the cracks. The betrayal didn't strike all at once. It crept in slowly, like a cruel play unraveling scene by scene. First came the phone calls that ended the moment I entered the room. Then came my parents' vague explanations. "It's just complicated right now, sweetheart." And then came the truth, carelessly wrapped in my mother's text. "Please don't bring this up to Emily. She feels uncomfortable having you on the trip." Uncomfortable? I had paid her bills, given her a roof, fed her family, and my presence made her uncomfortable. I didn't argue, didn't shout or cry. I just sat there, completely still, until my pulse slowed and my mind cleared. That was the moment I stopped thinking like family and started thinking like strategy. Revenge doesn't always burn with fire. Sometimes it whispers through silence. The first call I made was to my lawyer. The house deed was in my name alone, and their stay had always been verbal, meaning they were guests. And guests can be asked to leave. I waited a week, watched them happily prepare for their Hawaiian escape. Emily strutted around in new swimsuits, humming Christmas songs through my hallway. Her husband joked about budgets and relaxation. They had no idea their countdown had begun. The night before their flight, I waited until they were asleep. Then I printed a letter, request to vacate premises. Not legally required, but satisfyingly poetic. At 6 a.m., I woke them calmly. "You both need to leave today." Emily blinked at me, smudged mascara and confusion clouding her face. "What are you talking about?" "Our flight's in 5 hours." I nodded once. "Yes. From your own address, I hope." Her husband tried to interrupt, mumbling about timing, forgiveness, family. I held up the paper. "You've lived here rent-free for 18 months. That's long enough." Her expression crumbled. The silence that followed was worth every sleepless night. They packed in angry haste, muttering curses under their breath. My name turned into something venomous. I didn't help. I didn't even look at them. When they finally stepped out, I locked the door behind them. The sound of the latch clicking felt like the world finally exhaling. The calls began that afternoon, first Mom, then Dad, then Emily. I ignored everyone. My voicemail filled with excuses. "You shouldn't have done this before Christmas. You could have talked it through. She didn't mean it that way." But she did. And they all knew it. They had chosen her comfort over my dignity. So I chose my peace over their approval. They returned from Hawaii weeks later, broke, bitter, and disappointed. Apparently, the trip hadn't gone well. Cancellations, fights, missed plans. Karma always finds its timing. When they came back and found my number blocked, they showed up at my door. No longer family, just people with nowhere to go. Emily's voice trembled. "We have nowhere else to stay." I met her eyes. "Maybe you should have thought about that before deciding I didn't belong." Then I shut the door. No hesitation this time. Months have passed since then. The house is quiet, peaceful. Mine. Every now and then, I still get messages, desperate ones from my parents, guilt-laced ones from Emily. They all begin the same way. "Can we talk?" But I've learned something. Forgiveness isn't something you owe. Not to people who excluded you for convenience, only to come crawling back when their comfort collapsed. I used to think revenge was born from anger. It's not. It's born from clarity. I didn't destroy them. I simply stopped saving them. And that, I've learned, hurts far more. They're still begging. I'm still silent. And for the first time in years, I finally feel like I belong, not to them but to myself.